Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
I can't tell you when's the last time I got so serious about something like this Slapshot remake discussion. And we've had some really good ones coming in here. Jeff in Winnipeg, Camilla says the Baldwin brothers for the Hansons. Wayne in Victoria agrees with my Zach Galifianakis as Denis Lemieux. Denis Lemieux, continuons sa saison. Who would be Dickie Dunn? I feel like Elliot Friedman should play Dickie Dunn. But I think that Billy Bob Thornton is a slam dunk as Reg Dunlop, because this is a very, very important role. This would be the role that might define Billy Bob Thornton's career.
It's the role.
It's the role. And I will go along with Billy Bob Thornton as Reg Dunlop. That's how big of a fan I am of his.
How about that?
And of Reg Dunlop's, and nobody has come close to anybody else.
Somebody mentioned Steve Carell. Steve Carell maybe is Jim Carr.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
He could be Jim Carr. That works for me.
No. The guy whose idea this was in the first place, Robin Wildy, he's watching in PA. He says Liam Neeson as Joe McGrath. Liam Neeson's way too cool to play Joe McGrath. Way too cool.
Somebody mentioned.
John in Winnipeg. John Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
As Joe McGrath.
Yeah. Slam dunk.
Perfect.
Oh, how about that? Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
We're brawling this team, and the guy yells over the glass, "Go back to the NHL, Preston, you loser." Can't even say it with a straight face.
It was a good beak when we'd roll into a bigger center, and they'd say, go back to Wynyard. Go back to the NFL, where I was making more money and doing that. I'd like to. Thank you very much.
Where I was flying on the charter with the double wide leather suits and the filet mignon.
Yeah, working on it.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the RP Show. Brand new week, brand new environment, or may I say our second home. We're live from Great Eagle Resort and Casino. You guys going to hit it now? I know they'll be hitting it a lot.
Great Eagle Resort and
Yeah, there we go.
Casino.
There it is. Loving it. We're live from the Stage Bar, your number one destination for live sports here in Calgary's entertainment destination. The Moose is with me, Darren Moose DuPont. We got in here on Sunday. It is a brand new weekend. It's our first show of 3 weeks here at this lovely, luxurious casino, resort and casino. And what you don't know, you folks, and you will probably by tomorrow, we have a real Jimmy Kimmel, Letterman thing going on here. Darren is on a couch.
Yeah.
You're very comfortable over there.
Yes.
And it looks really cool.
I think it looks awesome. For the people here, it looks awesome.
They can't see it on TV, but that's going to change.
Yeah, we're working on that. So we're working on making sure you can see more of what we're doing here, because it looks so cool.
I see the comments are coming in from our viewers, so just hang on. We'll get to you. Thanks for joining us on Game Plus Television, on the radio in Atlanta, Metro Atlanta, on WQEE, YouTube, and wherever you're joining us, maybe your favorite podcast platform. Thanks. I hope you're ready to have some fun. Coming up on the program today, the voice of the Calgary Stampeders, iconic Calgary broadcaster Mark Stephen from CHQR 770 Radio Calgary will be with us, and Ron MacLean, the ageless Ron MacLean, an original Alberta guy.
Yeah.
From Red Deer, Alberta. Ron MacLean's going to be with us from Hockey Night in Canada in hour 2. So we don't have a lot of time. I see our Kevin the Medium's chimed in. Howdy, Kevin. Welcome. He's up there in Airdrie. Hope to see you this week. Can you hit the Quick Six show horn, please, Director Jordan? And
How about that?
oh, dang, we'll stop Mickey Mouse and then get into the actual topics here. And I closed the window as I was getting ready. It's still like the first day of school in a lot of ways. What did you say?
Yeah.
Like this, the start of the regular season?
No, I said off season's over.
Right.
As we were rolling in, it felt like we were rolling into the training camp facility, and the break was over. Right.
Right. Yeah. So here we are. And so we're going to open with what, if you saw the, what do you call it, the key or whatever, Monday overreactions. And this could include the the National Hockey League, the National Football League, the Canadian Football League, Major League Baseball, college football, whatever you want. Because what a weekend it was. I had to kind of step back. I called a junior hockey game in Assiniboia, Saskatchewan, my home province, in a brand new facility and a brand new radio station. That was very exciting. In a way, I had to kind of step back from everything that was going on in sports because it was a lot. So we'll break from the format a little bit here. In our quick six show topics, I have National Hockey League from the weekend. Number 2, Week 6 NFL best games. I'm not sure what they were, the best games. I know what they weren't, and it was the Dallas Cowboys getting their ass handed to them Sunday night in primetime in Philadelphia. We won't go there. CFL Week 19, Major League Baseball playoffs, because we're going to a 5th and deciding game today in that American League Division Series. College football. So we'll get to all of that. But the overreactions, like there are a lot. Like, for instance, the Calgary Flames are 2-0. Are they the best team in the NHL? Yes. That might be an overreaction. The Vancouver Canucks are winless. Are they who we thought they were? Also, yes. It's Tom Brady dumb. Not dumb. Done. I see the viewers, Don, our Navy fan, writing in about Tom losing it on his offensive line. Tom's been losing it forever. We've all been watching him for 23 years, however many years it is, but there does seem to be an edge to him, but I don't think that he's lost it. People are saying, like, lost his edge. Clearly not. What else? You had the best take. You said Dane Evans of the Hamilton Tiger Cats looked like Tom Brady in the last minute of the game here in Calgary on Friday night, and I was listening to Mark Steven call it as I was driving to Medicine Hat. Calgary Stampeders thought they had the game in the bag in the CFL on Friday, and then Dane Evans, Hamilton's quarterback, looked like Tom Brady. Phew, 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 down the field, into the end zone, boom, game over. See you later. What? Like Mark Steven was literally like, what just happened here?
Yeah, I know. And we were talking about that on the show Friday. Like, 15 years since they've beat Calgary in Calgary. The Stamps are 39-9.
Yeah.
I said Danny McManus was the quarterback last time it happened, and sure enough, Dane Evans. Like, this is a Hamilton team. If they win some games down the stretch and pull it together, they could make some noise and could be back in a Grey Cup before you know it.
Well, it could be going that way. So the text line's open, 902-518-3033. What is the overreaction or take that you heard coming out of the weekend that may or may not be right? Because there are a lot. And to be honest, I'm excited. It feels like home in a lot of ways, at the very least, a second home to come back to Calgary. I'm going to the Flames game with my friend Tammy Tuesday night. The Flames and the Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas 3-0. Flames 2-0. I talked to a guy from Vegas this morning. Guess what? All's good in Vegas. We're 3-0. It was a good move, I guess, to fire Peter DeBoer. Like, there, you got to win or you're out the door.
Yeah, and in short order, too. And I think they're doing some unconventional things. Like Logan Thompson started the first 2 games, and they were back-to-back nights. I'm like, is that the first goaltender to play on back-to-back nights in the NHL in the last 5 or 6 years? But he's winning. They're pulling the right string, so all is good for now.
They still do it, play back-to-back. Some teams, the ones that don't fall prey to analytics, and they're not hipsters. You know what I mean? They know the guys can play back-to-back and go, and Vegas is one of those teams. So Jeff, the Stamps fan, writes in, says, the Ticats are a real threat. Dougal Cameron, Stamps fan, says, welcome back to Calgary, Rod. Thank you. I appreciate it. I just love being here. Jeff in Saratoga, New York, says, greetings to the Rod Squad from rainy Saratoga. Jets win, Als win, and clinch a playoff berth. It's Victory Monday, baby. See, that's the thing. And from Todd Pinkney, one of our P1 viewers, says, isn't it ironic you're in the Eagle Casino and the Eagles are 6-0? Yeah, baby. Using the Peter Marr line. Jenna in Southern California checking in. She says, Sunday Night Football made me mad. And that's the point. It was not, from a sports perspective, the greatest weekend for me. The Bucs lost. The Dolphins lost. The Cowboys lost. What else is there?
Alabama lost.
Alabama lost, which reminds me, Tennessee has worked its way into, I think they're the 3rd in the rankings.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get on track. I guess that was my point. Those are the overreactions. Where are we? Our NHL coverage is brought to you by Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Find everything you need to know about our services, financing, product information, and more at broncoplumbing.com. And now would be a good time to come out with our poll question for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center. If you don't like it, it's on me because I came up with it. Who is the best 3-3 NFC team? Because there's a pot full of them. There's the Green Bay Packers are 3-3. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 3-3. The San Francisco 49ers are 3-3. The LA Rams are 3-3. And those are the four in our poll. But our listeners in Atlanta are going, what about us? What about the Falcons? We beat the 49ers. Yeah, but you're not supposed to be winning. Didn't anybody tell you that? You're not going anywhere with Marcus Mariota. So I voted for Tampa Bay as the best 3-3 team out of that handful. How would you answer that?
It's a great question. I'm going to vote San Francisco right now. I think they're the best of the bunch. I think Green Bay is lost. I don't think any of their units are playing well. Rams are good. Tampa's good. But the poll question, you're right. When people say Atlanta, that's a surprise. They're happy to be 3-3. All these teams that you mentioned are disappointed to be 3-3. So of these teams that are kind of having a rough start, who's the best? And they're all pretty good, and who would have thought they'd be here?
I think producer Clark would even agree. He is the Falcons fan of the house. We didn't think they'd win 3 games all year.
Yeah.
Bingo! And now they're 3-3. It's like, back off, guys. Start losing some games. Because, again, you want Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud. Marcus Mariota isn't a franchise quarterback, but he's playing like it. You know?
He is, and Arthur Smith is pulling the right strings. I mean, we were disappointed to lose him in Tennessee because he was such a good offensive coordinator and had so much chemistry with Ryan Tannehill. Well, he's found it with Marcus Mariota. He's not throwing for a lot, but I think he was like 13 of 14, didn't throw much, 130 yards, but he threw 2 touchdown passes, ran for another one. They're just doing all the little things right and winning football games.
I'd put it on Arthur Smith, their coach. There's no doubt. By the way, you CFL fans, just hang on. Monster CFL segment coming up for the next couple segments when Mark Steven joins us down here at Grey Eagle, the voice of the Calgary Stampeders. And we'll talk about the NHL Pacific Division too. How about the Winnipeg Jets? I was thinking, who's the best unbeaten team in the NHL? But it's too early for that. The Jets are 1-0. The Flames are 2-0. The Golden Knights are 3-0. The Florida Panthers are 2-0. It's too early. There's too many unbeaten teams.
No, but I did bring my Jets windbreaker for this trip.
Winnipeg Jets?
So I'll pull it on
Good for
at
you.
some point.
First, a word from our sponsor, Edo Japan. We going there today?
Absolutely.
Edo Japan, delicious Japanese-inspired meals and snacks made to order with high-quality ingredients. Hello to all my friends in Florida that are watching that say they love this show. It's cold up here, so be happy you are where you are. It's great here, but it's cold. It was -7 the other day when I woke up.
Yeah.
What the hell? Point 4, Garrett Cole pitched 7 solid innings for New York, and Harrison Bader hit a 2-run homer as the Yankees saved their season and forced a decisive 5th game in the American League Division Series with a 4-2 win Sunday over Cleveland. New York's $324 million man, Cole, allowed 2 runs and struck out 8 in beating the Guardians. New York will start Game 2 loser Jameson Taillon tonight in the winner-take-all game at Yankee Stadium. Point 5, and I want, before you get out of here, and we've got 5 minutes left for you in this segment, which in TV time is an eternity. Point 5, Tennessee has moved to number 3 in the Associated Press college football poll behind number 1, Georgia. Shout out, Bulldogs. And number 2, OSU. It comes after the Vols knocked off Alabama Saturday, one of 5 unbeaten teams to fall during a wild weekend in college football. My Crimson Tide dropped 3 to number 6 in the poll and swapped places with the Volunteers after Tennessee kicked a field goal as time expired Saturday. I was kind of out. I was focused on my broadcast of the hockey game I was doing. My phone was going off from all over university football in Canada, the States. People wanted to talk about it. I'd have an afternoon nap, man. I'm old. But you had a very eloquent, you thought that walk-off field goal in Knoxville was like something of magic.
Yeah.
Movies are made of.
It really was. Peyton Manning was in the house. You could feel something in the air. College game day, the whole deal. And, you know, that moment, it will go down as one of the greatest sporting moments of the year. And, you know, that feeling, I was getting emotional watching it. All the fans rushing the field, the goalpost getting taken away. Like, that for them is at par, like, without a doubt, with the 2013 Grey Cup for people in Regina. It'll go down to the emotions that will be felt at this year's Grey Cup for the winning team or at the Super Bowl. It was one of those iconic moments in sports, and it was really cool for the volunteers and those people in Knoxville, man. That was really fun to watch.
It's really exciting to be back in Canada, be in Calgary and in Saskatchewan on the weekend, but I can tell you this. If you weren't watching the Tennessee-Alabama game, you at least saw the highlights on all the sports networks. 100,000 people. Knoxville, Tennessee, orange fireworks going off the top of the stadium for a regular season game. You're sitting there going, what is this? What am I watching? And down in South Florida, I'm part of that, and it's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun. It's this business supposed to be fun.
Fun.
You know? And that's fun, and we're having fun. By the way, welcome back, Manscaped. Support for the RP Show is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package, the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code RPSHOW20 at manscaped.com. Order it now. If my math is correct, that's about 12 million balls they've trimmed.
How about that?
Here's the thing. They shipped the latest performance package here, right? From what I understand.
They shipped it?
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't need it, bro. I still have my last one. It's working like a charm.
Yeah.
The one with the headlight on it. And the, what do you call it on a combine? The header. the header on it. It's still working like a charm. They sent me a new one.
Well, yeah, but it looks like the box. I got the box up in my room, and we'll unbox it tomorrow.
Okay.
So I'll bring it down for you. It looks bigger, though. So I think there must be more in there than just the trimmer. So
listen, it'll change your life. 60% of our viewers are men, and it's not like women don't groom themselves, too, I would hope. So they could use it, too. Why is this just for men? But anyways, Manscaped, promotional consideration for this show brought to you by them. So order it now and get 20% off and free shipping at RPShow20 at manscaped.com. And I want to mention my sixth point. We've got junior hockey talk coming up later in the show. Canadian Premier League. The playoffs opened on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So the Cavalry here in Calgary tied Hamilton Forge 1-1. That was Saturday, right, Mark? And then in the other game, Ottawa Atletico beat Pacific. That's from Victoria 1-0. Those were game ones. Game twos next weekend in Hamilton and Ottawa. So some love for the Canadian Premier League. Moose, I'll see you a little later on, okay?
Sounds good.
Nice setup here. I like it.
I do, too.
It is a Jimmy Kimmel setup. You'll see it later on this week, just not today. The voice of the Stampeders, Mark Stephen, joins us live next at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. We're live at the Stage Bar. Your number one source for game day live sports is the Stage Bar. We're on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, your favorite podcast platform, of course, and on the radio, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Golf, Hawaii, and the Four Seasons. Imagine picking up your clubs and feeling like a pro for one whole week in paradise. Well, you can get that chance this December with 5-star accommodations, a 3-day tournament at a championship course, and loads of VIP experiences. The Pro Leisure Golf Tour is going to make you feel like a pro, even if your golf game doesn't. So whether you're looking to grab your golfing buddies for a tropical getaway or just wanting to find an exclusive VIP experience to take part in, the PLGT is perfect for you.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Settle in, everybody, and fill up your coffee. Thanks for joining us today. Good afternoon to our Eastern viewers. Good morning to those of us out here in the West. We're back live at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. We're going to have some fun here with the voice of the Calgary Stampeders, Mark Stephen, joining us from AM 770 CHQR. How you doing, Marcus?
Oh, good. Getting ready for the stretch drive in the Canadian Football League. A lot up in the air, and to see how the chips fall.
Well, before we do it, you heard me say we're going to have a lot of CFL talk with you for the next few segments. But I said to the viewers right off the top, what's your number one overreaction coming out of the weekend? And I kind of sensed it had to do with Tom Brady, and the viewers are writing in. Robin in Prince Albert says, how long till the Bucs turn their back on Tom Brady? Brady skips out on practice and walkthrough, doesn't travel with the team. Randy from Winnipeg says, Tom Brady is a baby. Had enough of him and Aaron Rodgers. Carlos in Indianapolis says, Tampa Bay, I'm not counting out Tom Brady. The take I heard coming out of Week 6 is that Tom's done. It's over. They lost in Pittsburgh. Is that an overreaction?
How many times has he been done?
A lot.
He's still, until he retires, Tampa is a force. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Well, because I'm watching Sportsnet this morning in the gym here, and they're like, does he even finish the year?
Yeah.
Don't
worry about him.
Yeah, I don't.
Until the uniform's off, don't worry about him.
I'm with you. And the poll question for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center today. Capital has dealerships all across the Canadian prairies and the state of California. What's the best 3-3 NFC team? Brady's Bucks, the Green Bay Packers, the LA Rams, or the San Francisco 49ers? Who's the best team of the 3-3 bunch? And I voted for Tampa Bay. So we'll invite viewer participation as we go. But to these Stamps. You lost here the other night, 35-32 to Hamilton. I had the great pleasure of listening to you, and you and Greg Pedersen, you were flabbergasted in the last minute.
Yeah, first of all, it looked like Hamilton had completely blown it with a third down gamble at their own 22. I mean, that's as high risk as it gets, and it blew up in their face. Could have cost them the game, but it didn't. And let's give Hamilton credit. Ran a kickoff back to midfield, threw a Hail Mary pass into triple coverage, and found the end zone. So they found a way to do it. But yeah, I was quite shocked because it looked like Hamilton had completely misplayed the situation, and they ended up winning.
What a swing, though, because I stopped to fill up my car with gas by Capital Vehicle just east of Calgary, and you guys were talking about the blown decision and by the Ticats. And your color guy, Pete's like, well, Orlando's going to have to just, explain this in the week. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right? But that was like a classic CFL ending, right?
Sure was. There's a lot of great finishes this week, and maybe, and I'm not trying to make excuses, but maybe it was time for Hamilton to win one or two of those games. They've gassed a lot of games this year. That's why they're 6-10. They've made a lot of bad decisions and a lot of bad plays down the stretch. So maybe it's time for things to turn in their favor, but it doesn't excuse the fact that it was just a really tough last couple of minutes, but a very exciting last couple of minutes. It was really, if you had no rooting interest in the game, it was a fantastic game.
And that was kind of me. I just enjoyed listening to you guys. Now we'll pause this CFL discussion for a moment. I see a lot of NHL friends and fans are checking in the viewership. Can I, if I may, I'm very excited to go to Calgary, Vegas Tuesday night here. Flames 2-0. Golden Knights 3-0. What are your NHL overreactions coming out of, let's say, the opening week of the regular season?
Edmonton's goaltending situation and Toronto's goaltending situation, too. Seems to be panic. And they're like heckling the Oilers coming off the ice there. I saw that video of fans there. So I guess the expectations are really high. Other than that, it's kind of early. They didn't even play on the Sunday, but those, I guess, are two cities where the bandwagon is pretty big, both for and against the team, and right now they're feeling it on both counts. So.
Well, and the reason I say that, Allie has checked in from Texarkana, and she's a Stars fan, Texarkana, Texas, and off the top, you missed the start of the show. I said, in Vegas, I talked to a guy in Vegas this morning, and he's like, everybody's happy we're 3-0. It was a good move to fire DeBoer. And I'm like, well, he's doing well in Dallas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's win or you're out. In Vegas, if you don't win, you're fired.
Yeah.
Tough way to go.
Give them credit, but a lot of pressure there. I mean, how many moves have they made? How much of their future have they mortgaged? See if it worked, right?
Right. So the beautiful thing about Mark is he can talk about all sports just like us. Now, to Kevin the Medium, one of our regular, he's a medium, like a psychic. Friend of mine, he says, can you ask Mark about the final play? Why did the Stampeders kick the ball back to Hamilton? It didn't make any sense to me.
No, that question's been debated. Why did they put it in the hands of the very dangerous Woods instead of Squibb kicking it down the field? Great question. I guess they just felt that their special teams would rein him in, but he is amazing. He was leading the league in all different categories, missed a few games, but no, great question. And, he brought it out to midfield. He is very fast, very elusive, got the edge, and came down and put them in great position there.
I'm going to ask some of our viewers just to hang on. They have NFL questions. We're going to push them to next hour. And by the way, Ron MacLean will be with us from Hockey Night in Canada in hour 2. Troy's watching in Toronto, and he says, as a Green Bay Packers fan, I'm very nervous. We won't be making the playoffs this year. Should I be nervous, Rod? What's your and Moose's take? Hang on to that one. And there's been a lot of changes in Green Bay. The good times may be over there. But I'll recap this because Troy is also a big CFL fan. Coming out of Week 19, Montreal beat Ottawa Friday night 34-30. We've talked about the Hamilton-Calgary game that same night. And then Saturday, the Argos won in Edmonton 28-23, Toronto Argonauts. And then the Winnipeg Blue Bombers lost in BC 40-32. We'll close the book on Week 19 and look forward to this Week 20 in these last 2 weeks. The first thing you said walking in here, Mark, was about you got the Riders twice in the next 2 weeks. So what's the focus there?
Well, I would say for the Stampeders, first of all, their playoff fate may be decided by the time they hit the field in Regina. That's if BC beats Edmonton on Friday night. That would clinch second for the Lions. I think the Stampeders, regardless of what the standings are going to play this one out just like a regular game with no regard to the standings or anything because they felt that they let one get away on the weekend and they got to play their best football coming down the stretch. The final game, again on the assumption that the playoff spots are decided, that I think they might more liberally substitute to rest players for the playoffs. That's been their traditional mode in the past, and that's how I would suggest they would do it again. So we'll just see, but obviously the first domino to fall will be the BC-Edmonton game on Friday.
You know, and I have to spend a minute on this. Our largest region for viewership and listeners, not shockingly, is Saskatchewan, where we come from, and then Alberta growing, and Florida, obviously, and Nevada. And here's the thing, Mark. I was in Saskatchewan broadcasting the junior game, as I mentioned, in Assiniboia, first game in the new rink there. Well, with their team in their mind, the fans there out of it, They're looking ahead to next year and who will coach our team, and will Bo Levi be our quarterback? Let's just start with a coaching situation. What do you see out of Saskatchewan moving forward?
Well, I see a team that's gotten away on them. Let's not kid anybody. They've lost their own fate. Obviously, Craig Dickinson has made some mistakes. I'm not sure he cracked down on guys hard enough. But the number one issue, it was the number one issue last year, even when they made the playoffs and beat Calgary and went to the West Final last year, the offensive line. Why was that not addressed? It wasn't good enough last year. It maybe is worse this year. On whom does that fall? So is this all Craig Dickinson's doing? I don't see it that way. So I think that Craig Dickinson probably is in a lot of trouble, but if he's in trouble, some people above him should be in trouble as well, because he has taken the team. It's a very good record overall.
Well, just spend a minute on that for the benefit of those Saskatchewan viewers. I think everybody concedes that Craig Dickinson will be gone. I don't think anybody sees this season turning around, and Calgary would love to snuff out the Riders' candle more than anything. Right? Let's be honest. So you fire the coach. That's an easy one. Didn't go the way that you planned, right? The coach is always the fall guy.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at that general manager, $250,000 spent on Duke Williams, who's not injured, that happens, but he's done a lot of dumb things, right?
Yep.
Been fined. And $500,000 to Cody Fajardo for a guy that, would you make him the highest paid Saskatchewan Rough Rider ever on such a small body of work? Well, that would
Probably
be a mistake, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yep.
So that's a lot of money that you would think you'd want to invest in your offensive line.
Yep. I agree. So it hasn't worked out, and Fajardo hasn't had a great season, but certainly some of that's on him, but some of it is being chased around and flattened every game. I mean, what are they giving up, like 66 sacks or something like that anyway?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. I mean, that's terrible. Stampeders giving up 15.
I think 3 shy of a franchise record with 2 games to go. So
there's a lot of things there, and but I understand the coach is probably in the crosshairs more than anybody else. I think the issues, though, are bigger than that. Like this whole Marino thing. Why was he left to fend for the whole organization, he being Craig, days on end? Where was the rest of the organization? Because that was a pretty embarrassing thing. The league basically had to step in and discipline him. That should have been a team issue first. So I know they said they'll give him another chance. But anyway.
But it's been one blunder like that after another. And believe me, my inbox is full of people going, how do you fix the Riders? I'm like, I don't care, and it's not my job. But let's just talk about a little fun stuff, and that's the Bo Levi thing. It's not fun for Bo, but I follow him on social media. We're Facebook friends. He's making cryptic messages on his social media. Like, I feel for the guy. And on your call-in show the other day, some people were going, why isn't Bo starting? That's going to happen right after a loss. How'd you answer that?
Well, there's no way. The answer is Jake Mayer is the number one quarterback. It's Jake Mayer's team. And much like Jake Mayer didn't go in games unless Bo Levi Mitchell was clearly struggling or clearly unable to pick up what was going on, that's going to be the way it is for Bo Levi Mitchell. He may see the field in the final game of the regular season, but, I think it's fairly evident that he will play his last game as a Calgary Stampeder sometime in the next few weeks here, and we'll worry about the offseason. But as a number 2, who's better? Nobody in the league right now.
Well, isn't Tommy number 2? Tommy Stevens, or no?
Not really, no.
Because he sees did Bo touch the field?
No.
Right.
But Tommy Stevens is a short yardage quarterback. That's why. Because he's such a huge guy. He's almost 6'6", about 250. That's why he takes the short yardage plays. Because he's so big, 8 touchdowns. So.
Well, I understand as the radio rights holder that you are, you can't really talk a lot about this. But you also have been around this business long enough to know, let's just say this is the NFL. If Aaron Rodgers got sat down in week 7 for Jordan Love, it is all anybody would talk about nationally for the rest of the year. Why is it so quiet here?
Because they handle it right. They didn't let Bo Levi Mitchell twist in the wind, dangle out there. They went there, sat down both guys, talked to them, told them what's going on. Let's give Bo Levi Mitchell a lot of credit, too.
And I have.
He could have made this a big mess, but he didn't. They talked to both guys, told them what was going on, so I credit management. They handled it. They got ahead of it. They knew they were going to have to do something, and they handled it right. And considering the credibility of the people that made the decision, that's why it didn't become an issue either.
Huff and Dave.
If they did, let me put it this way. They made their decision to switch quarterbacks. Okay, that's great. But if John Huffnagel would have walked into the meeting room they have there, pounded his fist on the table and said, we just signed Bo Levi Mitchell to a 5-year deal, I would have said that's the right call.
Yeah, right. You're okay with that. And that's You explained it very well. But going into the year, did you see this coming?
Nope. I didn't see it coming at all.
What changed?
Yeah, it is quite a change.
What changed? No, what changed?
Oh, what changed? Well, Bo Levi Mitchell wasn't productive. I mean, the Stampeders have had good offensive totals, points totals, but a lot of that has come via return touchdowns, and a lot of it's come by a great field goal kicking season from Rene Paredes. He just wasn't on the same page as the receivers. They weren't on the same page as him. He was hurrying his throws. It was just uncharacteristically unproductive. And, I guess they came to the conclusion that they gave him time to turn it around, and it didn't. There's an expiring contract. I mean, this discussion was going to happen, whether it was in August, when it did happen, or in January. So get ahead of it. And they did.
Jeff, the Stamps fan, says it is heartbreaking seeing Bo on the sideline.
Totally.
I think a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah.
Ted Blue is in Red Deer, who is a Rider fan, says Bo ain't going to have any fun behind that Rider O-line. And as I said last week, the Riders' magic number is 2, as in fire the president and GM. Ryan in Toronto says, where will Bo land? We have less than a minute. If you're saying his last game is the Stamps, clearly don't think he's retiring.
I'm not prepared to say that.
Well, I don't think he wants to leave Calgary.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point. I'm not prepared to say that he'll play next year. Probably he will. But I'm not going to rule out the fact he might just say this is it. And, he's got really well settled here. He did really well on the TSN panel at the Grey Cup next year.
But he might not play.
Might not. I'm more inclined to say he does play, but don't rule the retirement option out.
So, just like I'd hoped, NFL, NHL, CFL, leftovers, overreaction Monday. That's what we want today, and we thank Mark for joining us. He's with us for a while here in Hour 1. Ron MacLean in Hour 2. We're at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, and we'll be right back. You are watching on Game Plus Television. It's available on TELUS Optic TV all across Alberta and BC, of course, Channel 924. We're live streaming on YouTube and now on the radio on your home of Southern Sports and Talk, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Smoky in the air, it's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
I gotta hit the beat.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
We're back live at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, and just ahead of bringing on Mark Stephen again, the voice of the Stampeders, a sports update on this Monday. From the Dub, the Lethbridge Hurricanes spotted the Regina Pats a 3-0 lead Sunday in the Brandt Center. It stormed back and beat Regina 4-3 in a 4-round shootout. That was one of 3 games. In Saskatoon, Brandon Lazowski scored twice. Charlie Wright added 2 assists. And the Saskatoon Blaze beat the visiting Calgary Hitmen 4-2. And in Everett, Washington, Jackson Berezowski had a natural hat trick. Ryan Hofer scored twice. And the Everett Silvertips crushed the visiting Spokane Chiefs 7-3 at Angels of the Winds Arena. And stating that Canada had mixed results on Sunday at the 2022 World Mixed Curling Championship in Aberdeen, Scotland, wouldn't just be alluding to the team's lineup. A busy 2-game day for Canada would yield a split in the win-loss column for the Canadian foursome, skipped by Jean-Michel Menard. They fell to Finland 5-3, and they beat Denmark by a score of 8-1, so their record stands at 1-1. This sports update for Edo, Japan. Delicious Japanese-inspired meals and snacks made to order with high-quality ingredients. All right. Mark Stephen with us, the voice of the Stampeders. We appreciate the time. And back to, I said, we're not even looking back at Week 19 in the CFL. I don't usually turn ahead this early in the week. But can you explain to the viewers, Mark, what lays ahead in the West Division landscape here?
Well,
the last 2 weeks.
All that's being played for is who has home field in the West semifinal, because Winnipeg's clinched the spot. Can the BC Lions finish second? It's more likely they will. Their magic number is 1. If they win on Friday or Calgary loses in Saskatchewan, they host the West semifinal, second in the West. The teams can finish tied in the standings, but BC has the tiebreaker by virtue of winning 2 of 3. The Stampeders can finish second if they win both their remaining games against Saskatchewan, and BC loses their remaining games. They're both on the road in Edmonton and in Winnipeg. Is that going to happen? I don't know. The odds I would suggest are against that. I'm more inclined, I would say it's probably about 90% that the West semifinal is going to be played in BC. So that's the situation with the top 3 teams. Saskatchewan kind of alive by a thread for the crossover, but since the Stampeders aren't going to play them except in the Grey Cup, whatever happens, happens.
Yes. By the way, I just opened the text line, 902-518-33. It's full. So be patient. I'll get to as many of your messages as I may. But it's been a while since I've been the voice exclusively of a team. Tell me, do the Stamps get upset when they look over at Winnipeg and see them sitting Zach Collaros in a big weekend like this, and then they lose?
Yeah.
Or the Bombers sitting Zach, and they lose in BC in a very critical game?
Well, they were asked that, and publicly they said, no, I mean, let's lay it on the line. Winnipeg's earned that right? And I understand it changed the competitive balance of the game. Stampeders have been in that situation an awful lot, too, so it'll be hard for them to throw a lot of darts out, too. So it is. Winnipeg's found a way to get there. If the Stampeders would have found a way in some really good games to beat Winnipeg, not that anybody else has, but they would have put themselves in that situation. But yeah, it's a little disappointing. But you know, the Stampeders have also played some lineups that weren't 100% at when they've been in Winnipeg's situation as well.
Just from the viewers, Sean in Vancouver's watching on Game Plus TV, and he says, hey, Rod, I wore my RP show shirt to the Lions-Bombers game and got so many compliments. When asked where I got it, you better believe I directed them to your store. The Bombers fans definitely recognized your name. Have a good week. Thank you, Sean. That's very nice of you. From Dougal Cameron in Calgary, does Mark think Bo sees the field at our last home game this year? It would give the fans a chance to show him our appreciation.
Bingo. I think he will, and I hope when he hits the field that the stadium erupts. There's a raucous ovation of what is very likely his last appearance at home, and give a chance to do what is almost certainly a send-off to one of the greatest Stampeders ever. I hope that scenario unfolds and he gets considerable playing time in that final game. We'll wait and see. It's a couple weeks away, but that is my fondest hope, that the fans get a chance. Because so often you don't get a chance to salute some greats. Like Nick Lewis just left. He was an free agent. He went to, you didn't know it was going to be his last game. Henry Burris was traded in the offseason. People like that have been iconic, great figures. Jawan Simpson, a linebacker that played here many years. They let him go, and not a chance to say farewell. So I hope there is a big opportunity to give him an emotional farewell, if it is indeed a farewell, but he truly deserves it.
Isn't this, as you say that, it's unbelievable. When I brought up the Packers and Aaron Rodgers, there's a similarity there. Aaron Rodgers kind of pushed out Brett Favre. Bo Levi was ready, which made Hank expendable.
Yep. And Kevin Glenn and everybody,
Right. It happens.
It happens. It's everybody's turn. I don't want to minimize it because it's highly disruptive to somebody like Bo Levi Mitchell, who's been nothing but a good teammate and a strong player for 10 years. But this is just the cold reality.
To the other sports going on, Kevin in St. Albert, big sports fan. He's a junior hockey fan like me. He says, good morning. I sat through the marathon on Saturday. He's talking about the 1-0 18-inning game. He said, it's too bad the Mariners could not have scored a run, even though there was no offense. The pitching was something else. To last through that, the fans deserve a medal. From Kevin in St. Albert. And I would be interested in your take on that. Serena and I were talking about that because we watched the Tampa-Cleveland game that I think went 15 or 16, 1-0 game. And I thought I said to her, I would have left. And she's like, you can't. She said, you can't leave. Could end at any time. Is that exciting to you? To me, it's not that exciting.
After about 13 innings, it starts to become a bit of a chore to watch, I guess.
Right.
For that exact reason. You don't know which play is going to be what. A 12 or 13 inning game I'd get into, but I'd have a hard time unless I was a diehard of one of the two teams really sticking with it top to bottom. But pretty amazing, though, to play 6.5 hours like they did, 18 innings. So,
do the Mariners have a following in this town because of the old cannons?
Yeah, they do. I think they're well recognized, and I think a lot of people do go to Mariner games because it's the closest Major League franchise. So I would say the Blue Jays remain number one, but I do think that, I won't say it's a lot, but I was just out last night, for instance, saw somebody wearing a Mariners jersey at a minor hockey game. So, but I know people do it, and yes, a lot of it was forged by the longtime association the then AAA Cannons had with Seattle.
We have 90 seconds here, but I'm interested in this. I didn't get to Calgary in time to go to the Wranglers home opener Sunday. I would have liked to at the Saddledome. How clearly they are fitting all these hockey teams into the Saddledome, but I don't know how. Must be a game every night. Yeah, pretty much. It gets really wild there. I mean, a staffer told me that Saturday they didn't have any games, and that was going to be the first time in a long time. Some of them are being, the junior games are being moved to the arena here. But I agree with you. And how do you fit all those teams in practicing, too? Never mind the games. That's tough enough, but they all got to practice. When's the ice? And what happens when there's a couple games back-to-back? Teams want pregame skates. I don't know how they're going to do it. I'm also worried about the ice. Yeah. How much can it take? Day after day, team after team. So good for them. We'll find out. Yeah, clearly they're not concerned. Good luck. But it's a lot, but so be it. We'll see how it goes. And obviously nice to have the AHL team right near the NHL. Like I say, I think it is a good problem to have. One more segment with Mark Stephen. We'll be right back to the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino Stage Bar. Your number one destination for live sports is the Stage Bar. We're on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, your favorite podcast platform, and WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Hawaii, and the Four Seasons. Imagine picking up your clubs and feeling like a pro for one whole week in paradise. Well, you can get that chance this December with 5-star accommodations, a 3-day tournament at a championship course, and loads of VIP experiences. The Pro Leisure Golf Tour is going to make you feel like a pro, even if your golf game doesn't. So whether you're looking to grab your golfing buddies for a tropical getaway or just wanting to find an exclusive VIP experience to take part in, the PLGT is perfect for you.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Also does the
Lay back and
show.
kicking it. Let's head back to the studio. Here's Rob.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. We have the voice of the Calgary Stampeders with us, Mark Steven. And man, this is going faster than ever, hasn't it, Mark?
Good,
right? Yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
Jack Fulton, watching in Vulcan, Alberta, says, "Welcome home, Rod. Where else do you get to watch two sports media icons on the same program? RP show only. Where's the second?" We got Mark here, but thank you, Jack. I appreciate you saying that. It is an exciting time. How do you fall on this? This is the best time of the sports year calendar? Because I still think it's the spring and Stanley Cup playoffs, but that's me.
Yeah, it's tough. Both are good. I guess I probably prefer this time because football, CFL playoffs are in such gear. Baseball playoffs are underway. The excitement of the start of the hockey season, I have no idea how the season's going to go, but it sure is exciting at the start with all the different teams and leagues starting up. So I guess I probably go here. You're a basketball fan, and I am. The NBA's underway.
Is that right?
Next
You
week.
are. I've never heard you talk about the NBA.
Never been asked either. Yeah, so I watch a lot of it. I've actually already seen an NBA game this year, but anyway, so there you go.
Up in Edmonton?
Phoenix.
Oh, how was that?
Good. Enjoyed it. So, preseason game, yeah.
Tell me you hooked up with Jack Newman down there.
No, not in Phoenix, no.
Not this time, okay.
No. I'd still be there otherwise.
Well, hey, we do have people asking for Raptors talk, and I'm like, it's not going to happen. There's a lot of other things going on, but you tell me if the Raptors have a shot at something this year.
I think they're good enough if everything goes right. I could see them making the conference finals. There'd be an upset or two along the way, but I don't think it's out of the question. There's some good teams in the East, Milwaukee and Boston, and that, but I don't see any reason why the Raptors couldn't be right there. I think they're a good team. Are they a great team? Not going to go there, but I think they're pretty good, yeah.
Well, while I have you here, and only a couple minutes left, now that you say that, so I've been spending, 6 months in South Florida. I'll be going back there in a month. All they talked about on the radio is the Dolphins, which is not surprising, right? They don't even talk about the Heat, and they have an NBA team there. But with the concussion situation with Tua, how did you feel about Taylor Cornelius being pulled out of the Edmonton game Saturday by the concussion spotters, and his backup throws a pick that leads to the game-winning touchdown? How do you feel about player safety in the CFL compared to the NFL?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm sure there's a lot of nervous people after the thing you mentioned about the Dolphins quarterback there. So I guess you got to err on the side of caution. People get mad at some of the roughing the passer penalties that look a little marginal, but they're going to protect the quarterbacks at all possible costs. So it didn't particularly bother me, no.
Well, how could you complain about that?
Yeah.
How could anybody complain about that other than maybe Chris Jones?
Yeah.
Because
there's a whole separate show, by the way.
Giver, you got time.
Chris Jones.
Yeah, what do you got? You know him well.
Well, they're 0-8 at home. They're losing by his... I don't think he's going anywhere. Of
course not. He's got a 4-year contract.
Yeah. Signed a 4-year contract. But I'm disturbed by what I see there. I really am. They're not just losing. They're losing by historic margins in that. So
They have been, but this week they didn't. They lost by 5, and they had the lead all game.
Yeah, okay, that's an exception to a lot of games. They've been bombed in a lot of games. But I'm just disturbed that they, they're out of it. They're really out of it. They're not, so we'll see where it goes. Maybe their great plan is going to come together, but it better in a hurry. Because I'm disturbed by what I see. Great waves of empty seats in Edmonton. There's a lot of empty seats in the league. I get it, but it seems more pronounced in Edmonton.
Well, it is a separate show.
Yeah.
You want to stick around for another hour? I mean, obviously Chris Jones has been really good to me, and I support Chris Jones.
Oh, I don't mind. I don't mind. I just don't understand what he's doing.
Would you ever? We'll never understand what he's doing. That's his MO. But the thing is, Mark, when he left Edmonton after 2015, they'd won the Grey Cup. The stadium was full. They'd just beaten you guys in the West Final. That was their last home game. He leaves, goes to Sask, goes to the NFL, goes to high school, comes back, and the organization's been completely obliterated.
Yep.
How can we put on him having to rebuild it?
Well, I'll flip it the other way. He took over a 4-14 team or whatever. They were 3-11. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Are they better?
I wouldn't have done it the way he's done it, and clearly you wouldn't have done it the way he's done it, but hey, listen, you're not alone. Everybody's saying that they're really bad. Sure. And some are saying that Jones has lost it, and he's, his style doesn't work with today's player, and I've put that to some football people. And if you're a Jones fan, you defend him. If you're a Jones hater, you don't. Right? Last minute of play in hour 1. But again, they're not firing him. I mean, it's...
Oh, not in the slightest. He'll get a chance to redeem himself and turn it around, but it's clear that, they're just not competitive.
Jeff Gordon, viewer on YouTube, says you got to remember that Chris Jones comes in for year 1 and had to rebuild a mess already. I don't think he thought he had a quarterback, but now he thinks he does because he signed this guy.
Good. I'm glad to see they've put their stake in the ground with somebody. I don't know if Taylor Cornelius is going to make them forget about Ricky Ray or Mike Riley or anything, but give it a shot. Don't just, give it a shot. Let him go home in the offseason, work with it, know that he's got a shot to be number 1, and maybe it will work out. And I hope it does.
Mark, this has been awesome. You have an open invite. Thanks for coming down, man, and we'll see you at the ballpark.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Ron MacLean and Darren DuPont in hour 2 from Grey Eagle after this timeout on Game Plus and WQEE.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right. Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
We're brawling this team. The guy yells over the glass.
Go back to the NHL, Preston, you loser. Can't even say it with a straight face.
It was a good beak. When we'd roll into a bigger center, they'd say, go back to Wynyard. Go back to the NFL where I was making more money and doing better. I'd like to. Thank you very much.
Where I was flying on the charter with the double wide leather seats and the filet mignon.
Yeah, working on it.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
All right, welcome back, everybody, or welcome inside Hour 2 of the RP Show. If you're just joining us, we're live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. First day back and the first of a 3-week residency at not only Calgary's entertainment destination, but if I may, our second home. It was nice. And by the way, the Moose has rejoined us here in Hour 2. We're going to have even more fun in Hour 2 because this is where we really turn it over to the viewers. Hour 1 was on us. Hour 2 is on you. And I'm sensing they do want to talk some NFL. They want to talk, obviously, some National Hockey League. But you got a real kick out of this, Moose, when we checked in last night.
Yeah.
And there was mail waiting for me at the front desk.
know.
You seem to think that was very cute.
I couldn't believe it. There was mail waiting. And I'm like, did you, my first thought is, did you just get something shipped here because you knew you were coming? And then I looked, I'm like, that's fan mail. That's fan mail. You're getting fan mail to the casino now. So I guess they're starting at least to figure out where we're going to be in our different anchors.
Well, there was some of that, but also a book was sent to me here. I got a lot of reading to do over the next several months. A book was sent here. I've had Matthew Barnaby shipped his book to Florida. Thank God I'm a reader.
Yeah.
And I enjoy reading. You're a reader, too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I like reading. I like doing these reviews. So we're on the stage bar, and it wasn't a scramble getting ready, per se. Like tomorrow, I think we'll really be rocking on day 2 here back at the Grey Eagle. Do you think the bands have the same sort of mad scramble where we're just plugging in cords and hooking up lights just before this concert starts?
I've seen it where something goes down or they do the sound check hours before. So, I mean, there's not that issue. But there'll always be something, and they got to get it tuned throughout the show. So the people who come to the second show always have the best experience.
Which, speaking of, Jeff Gordon is watching streaming right now, and he says, is it possible to watch the show live in person while at the casino? Hells yeah. We encourage that. That's what's changed. It only took us 17 weeks so far this year to polish what we do, and we will have live guests every day. And yes, 10 to noon, you're welcome to come down. We've got, obviously, full-service restaurant. There's a guy walking in right now. We got Cade hooking up the speakers. So, yeah, we're only 1 hour into our 3-week residency. So today might not have been the best day to come down because we're not totally cooking with gas. But, yeah, we got college football questions coming in. And Arlen Bruce III wants to know the CFL grade. And this is interesting. He goes, do you believe Damon Allen or Jarius Jackson or Travis Moore have head coaching jobs potentially? Sorry, my pop-ups are going all over the place here. Do they have coaching jobs potentially in the Canadian Football League? So we'll get to all those questions. And Ron MacLean coming up in the very next segment. But I told Troy, who's watching in Toronto right now, he asked as a Packers fan if he should be worried. His Packers are one of 5 3-3 teams in the NFC. And that is our poll question today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center. Who's the best 3-3 team in the National Football Conference? The Green Bay Packers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Los Angeles Rams, San Francisco 49ers, and we left off the Atlanta Falcons. They're happy to be 3-3. Those other 4 teams are not. And the Packers are one of them. So we'll get to Arlen's question in a moment. But Troy said, should I be worried? And I think he should be worried. They've lost their offensive coordinator. They've lost Davante Adams. That's what happens with good teams, right? Other teams come and pick you apart. And free agency happens. I think that they should be worried as a Packers fan.
Absolutely, they should be worried. They don't have a single one of their teams, offense, defense, special teams, that's playing at a high level right now. And you're watching Davante Adams. Now, he's not lighting it up with Oakland or with Vegas, but he's playing well and he's there. You're watching Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who played and was, maybe his number 2 target, Aaron Rodgers. He's having a ton of success now this year. It's scary in Green Bay. And it's going the wrong way, and I don't see them recovering this season. Maybe next, but I don't see them recovering this year.
Next segment, Ron MacLean joining us from Hockey Night in Canada. So we'll get deep into the NHL talk there. The viewers here today want to talk football, specifically NFL and some CFL. Phil, watching in Dauphin, Manitoba, writes in. He says, good day, it's Monday. Tom Brady yelling at his O-line is the equivalent of me yelling at the writers of the new Halloween movie. And with all the talk about Bo Levi Mitchell, is it possible to think his next team could be in Edmonton? By the way, Darren and I are going to be going to a lot of movies, maybe tonight.
Yeah, let's do it.
Maybe Halloween. It opened on Friday in Landmark Cinemas, so maybe we'll go to Halloween tonight. Why are you writing at the writers of Halloween? I watched the original Halloween with Serena before I left Florida, and I didn't want to tell her because she's a big scary movie fan, but I was like, what's the big deal? This is not... Maybe at the time it was groundbreaking.
Yeah.
But I guess this Halloween that's in theaters now is the last chapter, I understand, from our friends at Landmark Cinemas. So we got to go to that. But you didn't seem that enthralled with the original Halloween either. We were talking about it in the car ride out here yesterday.
No, but I'm not a huge scary movie guy either. I get scared and nervous. So I like it Halloween. I'll put myself through that because I feel like I should, and it's kind of fun. But they've gotten better. The last one was really good. Halloween Kills. I know this one's Halloween Ends. So it was pretty good. It's a series.
Tune in tomorrow. We'll have a review. To Tom Brady yelling at his offensive line, kicking Grady Jarrett of the Falcons last week and getting fined $15,000 for it. I feel bad for Tom Brady, and I'm sure he doesn't want to be felt bad for. But you got everybody peering in on his personal life, and now everybody peering in on his professional life more now than ever. Every little thing that he does is being dissected, and he doesn't seem like the same Tom. He doesn't seem like the same Tom.
No, he doesn't.
He's got a lot, in his words, he's got a lot of stuff going on.
He does. And, people are going to go right back to Robert Kraft's wedding. And he was there, and he took Wednesday's practice off because he doesn't practice on Wednesdays, part of his new deal. And he flew in a private jet and wasn't with the teammates. And how dare he yell at the offensive line, when he doesn't want to show up to practice. And it's like, no, he's always held people accountable. That's not new. Wins, losses, he's going to hold you accountable. And we talked about this on Friday with Tori. We went deep on it. Who didn't see this coming? If you didn't see this coming, this game against Pittsburgh, then you don't really follow football all that closely or consider yourself any sort of NFL expert because, Mike Tomlin is one of the best coaches in the NFL. They're one of the best run franchises in Pittsburgh. They just got embarrassed the week before. They always rebound after being embarrassed, especially defensively. And the Tampa Bay offense has been bad all year.
Yeah, it's the defense that's really won games for them.
Right, they've really struggled offensively. So it was kind of a perfect storm for Pittsburgh to win that game last week.
We're just in and out with viewer questions and comments. It's exactly the way that we designed this show. Hello, Lucian. Wonderful, the best-looking security guy here at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Look at it. He likes that one. He likes that one, the nicest smile. I'm dying to get to the NHL, but I'll just say one more from Grant in Kelowna, BC, whom is a Rider fan, and he says, I said weeks ago, change in Regina needed to be done. Now they won't make the playoffs. My opinion. Grant always watches on Game Plus TV, and if I may, and I don't know why we don't have sound on the speakers yet. Yeah, we didn't have it. He's straining to hear what we're saying down here, so we got to get that fixed. People are saying they waited too long to fire the head coach. I hate to say this because I love Craig Dickinson. He's like family to me. He's the head coach of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and he said, I guess, on radio last week that he hopes to be back next year. I just said to Mark Steven here on the couch and a few other football people I've talked to, he's going to be fired if this goes the way that it looks like it's going to go. How could it not be? The coach is the easiest guy to fire. He's always the first guy to go.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to argue with anybody that says maybe if they fired him a month ago, it would have lit a fire under this team. I'm not saying you're wrong. I didn't think that anybody would be fired to the end of the season, and I was right on that. But that's not to say that was the right decision.
No, it's not. Look what happened in Ottawa. Won some game. And you always see that, the 2 to 3 game bump after you let go of a coach, right? And the players feel responsible for that, so they step up and play better. But this wasn't happening. But it's been a bit of an issue all year. And, you respect the loyalty to stay with the group you have and to ride or die to the end. And it might mean that they're all gone, But we've seen a little bit, I don't know if I want to call it indecision. Garrett Marino didn't make the decisions. It took some time before they finally made that decision. Same thing with the coaching staff and the whole deal there. So I admire the loyalty, but now you live and die with it, and it's probably going to be more than just Craig at the end of the year.
They've made a lot of gambles that did not pay off. And when that happens, you get fired. If they pay off, you become a hero.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe not making a coaching change is just another blunder made by the general manager of the football team. Overall, as I said to Mark, I'm not laying awake at night thinking about this stuff. A lot of people are. So here we go. Kevin from Airdrie says, thinking Friday morning at the Grey Eagle. Who's in? Give them a week to get set up. Oh, I don't know who our guests are on Friday. Just hang on. I'm dealing with Monday. What's the bracelet say?
Yeah, one day at a time.
One day at a time. Can you hang on? Hey. Well, you're going to come back here after Ron MacLean. It's 11:11 Mountain, by the way. We're on the right track anyways. The road may go like this, but at least we're going forward.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah, we are.
Well, you will be back, as I say, to talk NHL later on in this segment, but I've kind of got off my chest most of what I want to say. I'm really excited for Tuesday's game between the Calgary Flames and the Vegas Golden Knights. I had anticipated sitting in the press box, but I've got a wonderful opportunity to sit with Tammy, my good friend's wife, at the game. She asked me to come to the game, Vegas and Calgary. Overall, I just feel really good. I told you this coming here yesterday. I feel like the last year getting set up with Grey Eagle, we didn't know them, they didn't know us, and all of a sudden it's just worked out really well. You know, we check in and they're like, we missed you. We wondered where you were. And now we're getting invites to go to fun places, and it feels right.
Well, you know how the example I could give, and then just give people a little window into our life and travels and stuff is, you know, we would spend a 7-8 hour drive just about every detail. What are we going to do in Calgary? What's the setup going to look like? Because we are just so passionate about it. But I think, you know, you're in that place where you're so happy in Peace Night. You were out for like an hour, and I'm like, oh, Rod feels really good. He's really happy, and he's like, there's no worries. Everything's taken care of. It's very comfortable.
I don't like to be the guy that sleeps as the passenger in the car, but I couldn't help myself.
Oh, I love it.
You had it all under control.
This makes me feel good.
A note to our operators in the control room in Game Plus in Toronto. We're going to take a quick break here and come back with Ron MacLean because he's logged in and ready to go, and you'll be back later on in hour 2 here.
You bet.
So all NHL talk the rest of the way. We're broadcasting live from the Stage Bar at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, Calgary's entertainment destination. We're on Game Plus television, live streaming on YouTube, your favorite podcast platform, and on the radio on your southern home of sports and talk, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Golf, Hawaii, and the Four Seasons. Imagine picking up your clubs and feeling like a pro for one whole week in paradise. Well, you can get that chance this December with 5-star accommodations, a 3-day tournament at a championship course, and loads of VIP experiences. The Pro Leisure Golf Tour is going to make you feel like a pro, even if your golf game doesn't. So whether you're looking to grab your golfing buddies for a tropical getaway or just wanting to find an exclusive VIP experience to take part in, the PLGT is perfect for you.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks and make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy. Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG. Always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are live at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, Calgary's entertainment destination, on Game Plus TV and WQEE Radio, and we're going to talk some hockey now. Ron MacLean joins us from Hockey Night in Canada. Everybody's excited to chat with Ron. And, hey, we got a comment here from Ted in Red Deer. Ron, he says, you've got 2 Red Deer guys now in 2 weeks. It was Randy Moeller last week, joined us live from Florida. Can I ask you your thoughts on Randy Moeller as a Red Deer guy like yourself? What a character that guy is.
You know, Rod, I had Ed Whalen as a hero, right? Stampede Wrestling, and he was such a great character, such a humble pie guy in real life, but he could really crank it up in the ring. And I remember I loved the Stomper, and to see Ed Whalen and the Stomper go mano a mano, and I don't know what happened, but I didn't learn a lot from Ed, even when I worked with him. Randy Moeller, on the other hand, somehow mastered some of that great performance, that great theater. He's incredible as a broadcaster. I saw them all. Mike was and Jamie were also a great player for the Lethbridge Pronghorns when they won for Mike Babcock the University Cup. But Randy was probably Mike had a fabulous career and was with Edmonton Oilers. Great family. John, their dad, I used to go do on locations at the car dealership where John sold, I believe it was Mercury's and Fords. Just a great hockey family, and what a job Randy's done in Florida. When there didn't seem to be a whole lot of hope, he was kind of the rock for them, wasn't he?
Yes, and what a start for them. I was watching their game from the Islanders, or from Long Island last week, and I'm like, God, Randy's so good. For a hockey player, you're not supposed to be this good on the air. He's a great broadcaster, too. People would forget that he was ever a player. He's so good on TV, right?
Yeah, just so full of color. That's the part that blows my mind. And, we were all supposed to be, don't dress to impress. And, you didn't move too much out of your comfort zone when you grew up in central Alberta because someone would hang you out to dry. But Randy's got it. He's always had that fun in him. And when I go back to town and I see Mike and go swimming and have a beer, and as I say, I've kind of lost track a little bit of Jamie, but he had a fine hockey career too. So they're, as I say, great family and good for Randy. When he won the World Juniors, that was kind of the beginning of it for us. It was back in 1982 when the 2 Moeller boys were part of the team that won in Rochester, Minnesota. And to see him as a Red Deer wrestler, they had a fantastic squad with a lot of great players, including the Sutters. So, yeah, amazing.
Yeah, Randy told me the story again last week about the World Juniors in 82. I think he likes that story, Ron. But I love how proud they are of you guys, and I love this Battle of Alberta, man. Like, summer was just not even a pause on it. Like, we're back into it. Man, it's great having these teams good at the same time, isn't it?
Well, I used to live in Woodbine, which is right next to Tsutsina First Nation there, where you've got the beautiful golf setup and casino. And we were, at that time, Canyon Meadows was the host headquarters for the Calgary Flames annual golf tournament. And I just remember that was also a heyday in the battle between the two teams. The Cup ran, as you know, from 83 through 91 through either city. And I used to have all my friends from Red Deer come to either Calgary or Edmonton, wherever we were, and they would flop in my hotel room and clean out my mini bar. It was a very expensive decade, but I'm glad we're in for it again.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I'm glad those days are behind me, too. Wayne is watching in BC. Victoria, as a matter of fact, he says, hi, Ron, who are your picks for the Stanley Cup final?
Well, you're going to see Vegas, Rod, in Calgary here. I got a feeling about Vegas suddenly. And it's an amazing story if Logan Thompson, the netminder's Calgary roots, if he can play well in net, then they're a team. They're well coached, well managed. Kelly McCrimmon, of course, is a dear friend. And I just think I saw Eichel in the first couple of games, and I thought, oh boy, he's on a mission. And to have Pietrangelo as your leader and Mark Stone to do what he did with that late goal, and they've got 17 Canadians on that Vegas Knights team. So I think they're just well positioned for the kind of hockey you need to play in the postseason, and they would be a real threat to the incumbent. Colorado is very hard to bet against. I think they're fantastic. And over on the other side, I'd have to go with Carolina. Is a little bit of a dark horse, but not much of a dark horse. I think they might supplant Tampa and Florida as the power in the East.
Well, the Golden Knights are my team, and I'm wondering if I can get away with wearing Golden Knights gear to the game Tuesday night.
No, you can't.
Would you suggest?
No,
you didn't even have to wait.
That would be like talking about Friday on a Monday.
Yeah, thank you for saving my life on that one. But the Flames have beaten Colorado. The Flames have beaten Edmonton. And I wonder where you think the Flames line up in this pantheon of top teams in the NHL right now.
Yeah, good point. Actually, Calgary, I should consider, and Edmonton, of course, are right there as well. But the Flames, to see, the goaltending depth. Dan Vladar was sensational when they needed him against Edmonton Saturday night. They're fast. There was kind of a perception that Calgary's not that fast, but either the way they move the puck or the Mangiapane line is brilliantly quick, and that Huberdeau passing is exceptional. And Kadri, what a performance the other night. I was saying to our panel that he didn't have a hit in the game, and I think that was kind of a concerted effort by Nazem not to take a penalty. If he got too keyed up and started running around to match Evander Kane, they might end up in the box, and you can't do that against the Edmonton Oilers. So, yeah, there's every reason to think that the cup could go to either Alberta team 2. But I just got kind of a feeling about Vegas and their experience and what I saw that first couple of games. Way too early to judge, I realize, but they look good.
Yeah, but, the fans don't care that it's early. Like, for instance, I had the great pleasure of broadcasting the first ever junior hockey game in a brand new facility in Assiniboia, Saskatchewan Saturday. A gleaming new facility they built on a new radio station. I came back to my hotel in Assiniboia. I turned on Hockey Night in Canada, and there were you saying, he doesn't have a hit tonight. Not on the stat sheet anyways. I knew clearly you want to be clear that maybe he did have a hit that they didn't track. That was
I don't trust
the way you threw that in there.
I don't trust that stat, and I'm sure you don't either. But I was kind of leading to that idea that he was going to play controlled against a team that has a lethal power play, which was just the growth of Nazem as a leader. He really played that role well last year for the Colorado team, because he had that knack of going out for sure in Toronto and taking the big hit and having himself suspended or taking a major, and just at key moments just a little too high, and that's just a growth lesson. And that's again a little bit why I fear Vegas if I'm Calgary and Edmonton, is they've had that same kind of a humiliation or comeuppance over the last couple of years when expectations were sky high and they didn't meet them. And obviously the Eichel trade kind of set them back because they had injuries to Pacioretty and him. But I feel like they've lost enough that they will be just, blood in their mouth when they bite their tongue. So look out for that wounded animal.
Well, you mentioned growth, and that's it's fun to watch somebody grow in life. And if it's a hockey player, so be it. Nazem would be that. Where you are sitting there in the Mecca, are Leafs fans, could they be told to let Mitch Marner grow, to let Austin Matthews grow, or is that just lost on them?
Well, I think Austin from the get-go, it's funny. I remember when he came in, they always brought the top prospects in, and they would come on Coach's Corner with Don. And he was just one of those guys who looked around the situation, and he was, if I could put a word to it, it would be bemused. He was not impressed or scared or anything. He wasn't cocky. He wasn't arrogant. But he just, as an 18-year-old, had a way of carrying himself, Austin, that nothing was going to faze him. I feel like, I don't know why, Rod, when I watched him in the dressing room prior to the opener in Montreal, they had a shot of Slavkovsky who looked as loose as a goose, and Austin looked kind of... he looked tense for the first time. I've seen him once at New York in a game at Madison Square Garden look a little tight before the game, and reading into body language is a fool's game or mug's game. But I think he does realize that this is a huge, huge year for him and the team, and he's carrying a little bit of that right now, and maybe grinding a little bit right now. Marner is, just magic. He is such a talent, and Nylander's off to a good start, and so is Tavares. So their core four is playing really well right now, which gives Toronto a shot. But they have some real question marks on the blue line, and that's going to have to be, I think, sorted out at some point if they go deep.
Yeah, it's all the fun part of watching it. Some fun questions, if you don't mind, from the viewers. Colin in Ottawa, watching on Game Plus, says, how does Ron remember all the hockey stories he recounts on air? I'm always amazed at his vast knowledge of hockey. I think that's what makes Ron, but how would you answer that question?
Well, you study, Rod, we kind of rehearse our ad libs, and that's the truth of the matter is you study and study. Blessedly this year, and I think our producers are probably going to drive them crazy because you've got a week to prepare for Saturday night. In the past, I'd have been on a plane and into a smaller community to do hometown hockey and kind of lost to the Hockey Night in Canada gang for 3 days. But we just love our craft and have to practice intensely our craft. Wayne Barry, who taught me at Red Deer at CKRD, the business, he had a rule: 10 hours of prep for every 1 hour on the air. And that sounds outrageous, but it's kind of the truth. You really have to spend the time. As an example, on Saturday night, there was 560 names, and that was just 28 teams in action. We didn't have all 32. If you have all 32 teams playing, you've got 640 names playing, and that's a lot of stories and a lot of names. And like all of us, I have this habit of using the parents' names. If I have William Nylander, I'm apt to call him Michael Nylander in a fatigue moment because there's a lot of, Jake DeBrusk could be Louis DeBrusk and so forth. That's when you get to be our age, or my age at least. That's the one thing
I fall prey to the exact same thing. But I'll tell you something. Gene Principe is a good friend of mine, and he likes the puns. And somebody made a comment about him being the king of puns, and Gene was like, "No, there is one, Ron MacLean." And the respect shown by Gene to you, that is the kind of stuff that I just love, man. I mean, but do you feel the pressure having to come up with a pun before the commercial?
No, it's sure Gene would say the same, Rod. And there's, obviously times I wish I could rein it in and I didn't bite at the temptation to come up with a pun. I always attribute it to growing up in Red Deer, and we all had half tons, and we all had bumper stickers on the rear of our half ton trucks. And those were always turns of phrase. They were puns. So I was kind of exposed to it. Plus I had a dear friend, Ray Blair, who I played all sports with, and we called him the Prince of Puns. So there's a guy who's far superior to Gene and me in that regard. His name is Ray Blair. And he punned everything, and I just liked that. Wordplay was, to me, it was a way to fight pretense. And as I said, I wish I could sort of discipline myself not to do maybe more than one or two a night. John Shannon, he aged trying to get me to stop doing it, but it's right there in front of you if you enjoy language. And now everybody's playing Wordle. You know what that is?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I haven't played it, but I know what it is. I'm not smart enough.
Me either. Me either. But I see people doing Wordle, and I think, oh, good. The world's going to all be doing puns because it's kind of in that vein. Just playing with words is the battle.
I love that everybody loves what you do with it. Two quick ones from Todd in Regina. He says, Mr. MacLean, what are your thoughts on Torts coaching such a young squad in Philly, and how do you see it working out? You see they're 2-0.
Well, and you were going back to that earlier conversation about coaching changes in the CFL. 13 new coaches, or at least in different positions this year. 40% of the league had a turnover at the helm, and that's because, as was discussed with you and Mark, that that fresh take. There's an expiry date for all coaches, etc. But I think John Tortorella. I'll just tell you, Todd, a lesson or a story. When he had Vinny LeCavalier in Tampa, he used to, because you saw him really going at Dubois in Columbus. When Dubois was playing there, PL, he did it on the bench. He ripped him, and they all said, why would you do that in public in front of everybody? Well, when he had LeCavalier, he used to bring him into the office and tear a strip off him. And LeCavalier felt vulnerable. He had no support around him. He had nobody. If he wanted to tell Jay Feaster, the manager, that Torts is saying this or doing this, he had no witnesses. So Jay Feaster went to Tortorella and said, John, you're a bit of a live wire, and you do have a temper. If you're going to rip a player, please do it in the dressing room in front of everybody, or do it on the bench where there are witnesses for the victim of your rant. Isn't that interesting? And from that day forward, going into 2003, Tortorella started to do all of his rants in front of other players. So when you see John do that, it seems like he's pandering to the cameras, but it's not. That's the reason. He'll be good.
And they learn. Yeah, they learn as the coaches grow too. You would hope, just like the players. Yeah. Devin in Burns Lake, BC says, Ron is the game's encyclopedia. There's no doubt about that. And T. Will in Winnipeg says, hey, Ron, as a person living in Toronto, are you aware Winnipeg exists? I say that with a smile. You must get that all the time. The Western...
Well, right after this interview, Rod, of course, they called Dick Irvin was a homer for the Montreal Canadiens, and Brian McFarland was Brian McMapleleaf. You can't be situated in these cities and not be tainted. But right after this call, I'm going on with Mark Chipman, a phone call, and we're going to talk about February 11th and all that they're doing for Dale Howard-Chuck and the Winnipeg Jets. And I was in communication with Rick Bowness all through the last couple of days because, of course, he was going through his COVID. But I'm building a story for Saturday night when we have Toronto at Winnipeg. Sorry to bring up the Leafs. And I tell you this, my breakout moment in broadcasting was in Winnipeg doing the Wednesday Lottery with Don Whitman. And my favorite author, you can see there's a lot of books in behind me here. My favorite author is from Steinbach, Manitoba. Her name is Miriam Taves, and she moved up. Great story about Miriam. Her father, Mel, ran a school in Steinbach, but on weekends for pin money, he would sell his eggs up in Winnipeg. He would drop off containers of eggs. So at one point, he was getting ready to marry a woman named Elvira, who would be Miriam Taves, the author's mom. And he wanted to build a house just like one he'd seen in Winnipeg dropping off eggs. So Elvira says, well, what's it like inside? He says, oh, I have no idea. I just drop the eggs on the veranda and I move on. She said, well, you got to look inside to see if it's a house worth building. He says, I can't ask to go inside. I'm an egg deliverer. She said, leave it to me. So they go up to Winnipeg from Steinbach. She knocks on the door and says, do you mind if we have a look around? My husband here, Mel, wants to build a home just like this in Steinbach, and it will be our new wedding gift. And the guy says, come on in. It was Bill Mosienko. Bill Mosienko holds the record for the fastest hat trick in NHL history. He scored 3 goals in 21 seconds. And that just proves he's a good egg. Oh, sorry, there's a pun.
How about that?
I was just sitting enjoying the story. Yeah, for sure. It's the record that stands today. Ron, thanks. Don't want to let you go, but we have to. Always appreciate the time. Keep it up.
Same.
The games aren't the same without you. So thanks, Ron. Keep it up. I love it. And have a great week.
Yeah, Rod. Appreciate it. Keep up the great work yourself.
Thank you. Ron MacLean from Hockey Night in Canada. Darren Moose DuPont will join us live again next, and we'll get to more of your questions and comments. Something was ringing in my mind about Dick Irvin that I will tell when we come back to Grey Eagle Resort and Casino on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, your favorite podcast platform, and, of course, your home of Southern Sports and Talk in Metro Atlanta, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop staffed by PGA of Canada professionals is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Okay, welcome back, everybody, live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. I'm just bubbling, obviously, with the interview with Ron MacLean. Did you guys say we do have Moose or we don't have Moose? We had him, and then we lost him. So, Darren, we're working on it. Something seems to happen at 20 to the top of the hour where we lose internet. So, I just happen to have a sports update ready to roll. Moose will scramble and get ready to come on. And if he can't, I can sit and tell you stories about Dick Irvin and a few other things while we get Moose ready to go. But a sports update on this Monday. The New York Yankees host the Cleveland Guardians in tonight's Game 5 of their American League Division Series. New York will start Game 2 loser Jamison Taillon against Cleveland's Aaron Savali. The winner meets the Houston Astros in the American League Championship Series. The NLCS starts Tuesday with the Philadelphia Phillies at the San Diego Padres. Thank you, Clark. We have Moose, and we'll get to him in a moment. NHL, the Montreal Canadiens are home to Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight. The Penguins are off to a 2-0 start to the NHL season, and Crosby has a league-leading 6 points in his first 2 games. Other games tonight have the Leafs hosting Arizona, the Vancouver Canucks visiting Washington, and the Winnipeg Jets are at Dallas. How about that? Rick Bowness going in. Is he back behind the bench? Can somebody let me know? I believe he is. I know he missed Friday's game because he tested positive with COVID. You know Rick Bowness going to want to win that one tonight in Dallas with the Winnipeg Jets. The NFL's Monday night matchup pits the Los Angeles Chargers against the Denver Broncos. Denver enters the game on a 2-game slide, including last week's ugly 12-9 overtime loss to Indianapolis. The 3-2 Chargers have been inconsistent this season and are only 1 game up on the 2-3 Broncos in the AFC West. And for you curling fans, Jean-Michel Menard's Canadian rink scored a 7-6 extra end win over Korea this morning at the World Mixed Curling Championships in Aberdeen, Scotland. Canada now 3-1, sits second in Group A behind 4-0 Finland. The Canadians face both the United States and India on Tuesday. The sports update for Ballers Rec Room, home of the RP Show Grey Cup Party. Follow our social media channels for details on how you can get your tickets and join us Friday, November 18th at Ballers at the Grey Cup in Regina. We're also brought to you by the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. We do have the Moose here. And by the way, Craig Campbell checking in from the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. And he says, so pleased to come and visit the Hockey Hall of Fame to see that bit of history plus much more if you're in Toronto now or in the future. He says Bill Mazienko's stick and 3 pucks are on display in the Hockey Hall of Fame right now. I read his comments out of order.
Sweet.
Oh, and here's T. Will from Winnipeg writing in saying he was just chiding Ron. Ron's an icon about ignoring Winnipeg. Come on, Winnipeg. Nobody forgets about you. No. Get over it. You got the two-time defending Grey Cup champions. You have an undefeated hockey team. You've got one of Canada's last Hooters remaining. You got a great mall.
A lot of good things.
Well, a lot of good things.
The Forks.
Don't think about who's ignoring you.
Yeah.
And the people like that. They get a kick out of that here. Listen. I just have to stop on the comments for a second because I get squirrely. Ron MacLean is the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
Yes. Clearly.
And he brings up Dick Irvin, and he goes, we all get accused of being homers, and I've read all their books. What did I say last hour? I'm a reader.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so smart. And Dick Irvin's book, the title is Now Back to You, Dick. I think I read that now when I was in grade 10. And Dick was talked about being called a homer for the Montreal Canadiens. I've had occasion to work events with Dick, and we didn't click. It's fine. But in his book, he goes, I get called a homer for the Montreal Canadiens. You know what? You're damn right I'm a homer for the Montreal Canadiens. I never, ever forgot that. He goes, he was born in Regina, but he goes, I was raised in Montreal. My dad coached the Canadiens, and the longer the Canadiens go in the playoffs, the more money I make, and the more I'm on the air. And you know what I mean? Yeah, why wouldn't you want the Montreal Canadiens to win? And I took that stance when I was voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders for 20 seasons. You're damn right I'm a homer for the Roughriders, because the more we win, the further we go in the playoffs. I get Grey Cup rings, the more money I make. Yeah. Why do people have a problem with that?
I know. And I mean, you can cheer for certain situations, and and it can come across on your broadcast and whatever. I mean, fans don't like it if it's not their team. That's what it comes down to. If you're not cheering for my team, or you seem to have a slight against my team. And the biggest one I always see all the time is if your team's losing, you think the announcers are against you too. If your team's losing,
and it's annoying.
And the idea around it is, as a broadcaster, we want every game to be great. So we're not going to spend our time talking to a national audience being upset that team's losing and having a negative broadcast. Whichever team's winning, we're going to get excited about the winning, right? And what they're doing great, and talk about that and make it a great night, as opposed to wallowing in the team that's doing poorly. So if Montreal would have been losing and Dick Irvin would have been on a national call, he'd have been cheering for the other team. Just happens that Montreal was winning all the time.
Great comments from our viewers here. Scott K., watching on the streaming, says, Winnipeg Hooters would be a good name for a rock band.
How about
Winnipeg
that?
Hooters. That's good. Had some great times there. It's a wonderful spot. From Pinks, he said, Winnipeg has one of the best ballparks in Canada. It absolutely does. Shaw Field, right?
Yeah.
Randy from Winnipeg says, the biggest homer is the Bruins play-by-play guy. And I watched that guy. Jack Edwards?
Yeah.
I will be honest, because we have this wonderful cable package in Florida through Xfinity. I got every game. It's not like center ice, but close. And this Jack Edwards, the stuff that he says, I'm like, how does he get away with this? I don't really care. But I was drawn and quartered, nailed to the wall for everything I said. I hated it. And I'm sitting here going, how come he gets to say this? That's all my thing is on Jack Edwards. Have you watched him say?
Oh, yeah.
He rips the refs. He rips the other team. And yet he keeps his job all the time.
I know. I think part of it is it's become his shtick. He's gone so far into it.
Good for him, I guess.
But, how do you go from being a guy who's yelling at all these people and being crazy to it being a shtick? How do you survive from it being a thing that, what's this guy doing, to it being his shtick, right? And now it's his shtick, so he's not going anywhere, and people accept it, and they think it's funny, and whatever else.
Well, Allie in Texas says, everyone has their favorites. I love Dallas, but I like other teams too. I just love watching hockey. Me too. And I've said it a million times. I usually have the sound down anyways. I don't know why I was listening to Jack Edwards, but I was. And I don't care. It annoys me that people can get away with things that I couldn't.
Yeah.
And we'll take a break and come back. And we will talk about what Arlen Bruce wanted to talk about here, about some coaching vacancies upcoming in the CFL and who may be next. And I know Arlen says, I have so many great memories at Hooters in Winnipeg. Arlen Bruce says, one of the Hooter girls in Winnipeg became my baby mama. Shout out Hooters in Winnipeg. I think I know who she is, Arlen. They're loving the comment. Devin says Jack Edwards may as well have a Bruins jersey on. No, I know. Again, do what you want, bro. I admire that. I just don't understand why he gets away with what he gets away with. We'll talk about everything when we come back for overtime. We're live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino on Game Plus TV. YouTube live and on the radio, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
I gotta hit the beat.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right. And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks and make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Lots of time left here for overtime. Brought to you by the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the UFC and the National Football League. 909 Arcola Avenue East. The Moose is here, and we've got the speakers going. Live studio audience. Yes, you're invited to come on down. People are calling Grey Eagle Resort and Casino wanting to know who is on daily, and that's the way that we hope that it would work out. things rarely go the way you plan.
I know, right?
And it has here.
Going great.
But people love the talk of the broadcasters. Trust me, I get it. And about homers, whether you're a homer or you shouldn't be a homer, from Colin in Ottawa, he says the radio broadcasters should be homers, Rod. I would often switch off Bob Cole and Gary Galley and tune into the radio feed because the former were the Leafs broadcasters. And I'm a Sens fan. Wayne in BC says, I think the home radio broadcast should be slanted toward the home team. Let's face it, most of the listeners are the home team's fans. That's the way I looked at it, but then I sold my soul. I was just telling Darren yesterday, if I had to go back, I wouldn't do what I did. I wouldn't sell my soul to be the Rough Riders broadcaster. I wouldn't do it. Because you know what happens? You end up without a soul.
Yeah.
The best part is you get the soul back. That's the happy ending to the story. But I wouldn't do that again. Look at me coming into Calgary and all the ass I had to kiss just to have a show in Calgary. And it's worked. It's been good. And, maybe Bo leaves and he goes and quarterbacks Saskatchewan and I come back here might be just the perfect way for it to all end up.
Like, what a flip of everything that would be.
What a trade.
Yeah.
Kevin, the medium, says after hearing Rod calling the game this weekend, he needs to be calling more games. No, please stop. And I can't. I've said this. Maybe it's been a year since I talked about it a lot. I only went back in and called that game in the new rink on the new radio station as an occasion. I don't want to do it. And here's part of the reason why. The guy that scored the first goal in the new rink wasn't in the program. Number 10, I'm looking at the roster. He's not on it. And I'm like, I'm calling the first goal in this brand new station. Should be an iconic call. And I don't know his name because it's not on the roster. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with that stuff anymore. I just don't want to deal with it anymore. A lot of young people do. Old people even.
Yeah.
Go. I want to do, Kevin, as you know, exactly what I'm doing right now. I don't want to call games anymore, please. I feel like it's draining to have to explain that to everybody all the time.
Yeah.
Just doing.
My answer would be don't.
He wants to. I'm not.
I know you're.
You pay enough, I'll do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I did on Saturday. But Chris in Vancouver says listening to the Nesson broadcast of the Bruins games is the only time play-by-play guys actually tick me off. I know. That's the point. I had everybody hate me in the CFL because of my homership for the Riders, and in the end, I got a knife in the heart. So you look back and go, why did I do that? I wouldn't do that again. And he's got everybody's hating Jack Edwards. I don't think he cares. No. Clearly. I just don't get why he can, and I can't. Phil on YouTube says Jack Edwards is the only guy that makes me envy the deaf people. Ooh, I shouldn't have read that.
Spicy.
You like calling games.
I do. Yeah, I do. I still do. Would I like it if I was calling one team's games again and riding the bus and doing it? Probably not. So I've got a nice thing where I can go in and do a game a week, right? During the football season or the hockey season, or a game every 10 days. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Twice a week at most would be a busy week for me. I like that because then you can really get into the game, capture it. There's no mundaneness. That's why I think Hockey Night in Canada was so successful, because it was once a week. Now you got hockey games every day, and it becomes mundane, and that's a dangerous thing for sport.
Well, that's why I've really been able to look forward to, because another thing, maybe I just had a bad run with the teams that I was with, and I'll take the reason that I'm not with them anymore. Let's put it on me. But I still don't want to sit there and deal with them. When you're told to go on the air and lie, and you say, no, I'm not going to do that, and then they threaten your job, it takes the fun out of it. And I've said it before that this is what was going on, and people don't care. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to leave. It is a fun sports on tap for the Tap Brewhouse and drive-through liquor store. NFL Monday Nighter, we talked about this earlier. Denver at the Chargers, 6:15 p.m. Mountain. I love the fact that I can watch the whole game now. I also love the fact that Broncos fans are saying, stop putting our team on primetime. We're sick of our team. I think that's hilarious.
The storyline is, how are they going to let us down tonight?
Right.
That's the storyline.
Major League Baseball, Game 5, American League Division Series, Cleveland at the Yankees, 5 p.m. Mountain. I think I'm going to watch that as much as I can. And a wonderful buffet, really, in the National Hockey League. Vancouver at Washington. Do the Canucks get their first win? Florida at Boston. I'll probably be listening to that one. Ducks at Rangers. Penguins at Montreal. That always is special, right?
Yeah.
Sid coming into the Centre Bell. Arizona at Toronto in a friends and family game. LA Kings at Detroit. Colorado at Mini. Jets at Dallas. That might be the featured game of the night.
Yeah.
And Carolina at Seattle. So there's just a lot of, I'd rather just do this. And I wanted to get that out of the way and then just mention this because Arlen is still with us and he was talking about that CFL coaching carousel. And this is what bothers me. It's every league's the same. When your team's out of it, which Rider fans generally think their team, the Riders are out of it, you're looking ahead to next year. Who's going to be our coach? Who's going to be our quarterback? And Arlen, as a football guy, is looking at those names he mentioned, Travis Moore, Jarius Jackson. I can't remember the third that he said. Will they be given head coaching opportunities? And quite frankly, now's not the time for us to be talking about that. I don't like talking about jobs when somebody's still in them.
I know.
More than anything. I kind of have a policy against doing that. But the football people are talking about it.
Yeah, and I don't want to talk about it as saying who's going to be the next Riders coach or the Ottawa coach or the whatever team that might, let go of their coach. I want to talk about more as who would be the next head coach should something become available. So you talk about those guys, the Jarius Jacksons and whatnot, the Mark Killams and Mark Muellers. I don't know if they're quite ready to be head coaches yet or not. But then you look at, Jason Moss's name has come up as moving to a head coaching role. Forget about what Rider fans think about him. Kahari Jones's name circles Lapo again. So there's going to be a lot of candidates.
WQEE Ryan O'Radio writes in and says, another great show. Always. Thanks, Ryan O'Radio.
Up week in Atlanta.
Last minute of play in hour 2. Up week in Atlanta. We'll tell you what it is tomorrow. Kirk Sirota writing says, Peter Marr could have easily been a Flames homer, but he wasn't like that. He gave credit where credit is due, and that is why he is such a class act when he called Flames games. Exactly, but this business isn't like it was in Peter Marr's time or the time that I was coming up or Ron MacLean was coming up. It's just different now. It's in every regard. In every regard, it's different. And we do our thing and they do theirs. What's tomorrow, Clark? What do we got? We got some great guys up tomorrow, right? John Liu and Nasty Sheldon Napastic. That's going to be fantastic. Thank you to Mark Steven. Thank you to Ron MacLean. Great job here, Moose, with you.
Yeah, you too.
And to our entire crew, way to go, IKS. We'll see you tomorrow, noon Eastern, here on Game Plus and WQE.
Resort and Casino.
Who has more fun than us?
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. Hot take. Hot damn. That's hot. Hot. Spicy.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.